always go to breweries, but we never have the opportunity to interview them, and sometimes their stories are so fascinating, and I feel like it's half of the experience. Okay, so we explored town a little bit, and then walked over to the brewery that we're going to, which is called
Frenchtown.
And we were a little early, so we've been sitting in this spot, which is in the shade, wonderful breeze, gorgeous views. We just saw a seaplane land, which was super fun.
And lots of yachts come in.
Yes, and then we will head over to the brewery in a few minutes and check that out, so we can't wait to show you all about that. Welcome, first off.
Welcome to Frenchtown Brewing.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. This is super exciting.
Great to have you and Jack and your many followers.
Thank you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the brewery and how it started? And
Sure. We're 7 years old, and we first started because, well, I could go back just a second.
Yeah.
How long we've been here.
Okay.
34 years.
It's impressive.
It is. Kevin is an analytical chemist. We're originally from
We may switch in a second then.
Okay, he's an analytical chemist. We met in Indianapolis, Indiana, and he worked at the Indiana University Medical Center. And he had had enough of body fluids, blood and urine.
Okay.
So he decided he wanted to do more with marine natural products. So he looked around along the coast for a place to work that would be more fun. So he found a position at the University of the Virgin Islands supporting marine research. So he took that position, and when he got here, all of the microbiologists decided they didn't like the local beer, which consisted of Heineken and Old Milwaukee.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense for the islands, but I could see where you're like, I want something different.
So they started home brewing.
Okay.
And a shocker, they were really good. There was a yeast guy, so they never bought yeast. They always propagated their own yeast. And Kevin is a water quality guy and also a processes guy, because he's an analytical chemist.
Yeah.
Which means you're sometimes really boring, but you do the same thing really well over and over again, which it comes in handy for brewing.
Yeah.
So they home brewed.
Okay.
And then eventually I have an office close to this. And when it used to be a restaurant and a kitchen.
Okay.
And when I couldn't use all of the space, so we said, hey, Kevin, why don't you open a brewery? So he and I decided to open a brewery, and then he has a business partner, Nicholas, who came on with us. And so we bought a lot of this equipment secondhand. Some of it's dairy equipment from Wisconsin.
Okay.
And then we bought some new things, but that's how we got started.
That's very cool. That is really cool. And what year did it open?
Officially in 2015.
Okay.
So 7 years.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We were also the first craft brewery on St. Thomas. And this was in the middle of all of the brewery expansion in the States. You guys,
Yeah, Colorado.
you're going to a lot of breweries. Well, it started here a little. Everything we do is 10 years after the real world.
That makes sense.
We were the first one, and we're still the only production brewery in the Virgin Islands. So it's we're special, and we're going to be expanding. Next time you come, and all of your people that are watching you, we're going to be at Bluebeard's.
Okay.
With a 15-barrel brewery in a 2,400 square foot space.
Oh, wow.
Which is quite different.
It's quite different from what's here. That's awesome, though.
This little brewery.
Yeah. And when is that supposed to open? In perfect world?
In a perfect world, there is no perfect world.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Virgin Islands.
Well, that's true.
But second quarter is what we're saying. All of the equipment is there. It just needs to get commissioned by Alpha Brewing, who sold us the equipment, and just get all the infrastructure done. But it's super close. It's probably going to be
Knock on wood.
June.
Okay, June-ish.
Ish, June-ish.
June-ish. Well, that's very exciting.
It is. It's a lot of hard work.
Oh yeah,
You know, brewing on an island isn't easy.
I can imagine.
Nothing is grown here. We
Yeah.
get that question a lot. Where do you get your grains and your yeast and your hops? And it's, you know, from wherever we can get them, certainly from the States. We're just so small
Yeah.
because we only brew once a week. We get rid of all of the beer we can possibly make.
Yeah. Like that, yeah.
So what did your husband start with home brewing with? Like what was his type of beer?
Well, Belgians are what he was doing a lot of home brewing with because he's third generation Belgium. His grandfather was from Belgium. So we traveled there a lot, and that's how we went from Bud Light to
Good beer?
good beer to a lot of good beers in Belgium, and found a love of glassware and the presentation and the really just the professionalism of beer. It's
Yes.
something we really enjoy. Can I get you a beer?
Yes, whatever your choice is, whichever one has the best story attached to it, I'd love to know.
How about my favorite? Same thing. Okay, I'm going to give you a taste of 86 and Sunny, which is our pale ale, and 86 and Sunny is our average temperature. Except for now, we're in a cold snap. It's only 83, but that's a beautiful beer. Being my favorite, it's light, refreshing, somewhat sessionable at 6.4.
That's a 6.4%.
It is.
Whew, that's a dangerous beer.
It is, but it's refreshing for the beach.
Yes. Oh, it is really.
So it's one of our favorites, and it's a nice introduction to the IPA, which is 7.5, which is one reason I like this beer is because I can have one more than I can of these.
Yes.
But even our IPA, I'll let you do a comparison.
That is a perfect beer for the beach, is the best way I can describe that.
Perfect, thanks. And it's always perfect if it's your beer. Kevin is often asked what his favorite beer is, and his answer is the one in my hand. So that's our Hop Alley IPA. It's 7.5. But the cool thing about that one, because you can see it's loaded with hops.
Ooh,
But-
5 different hops.
The cool thing is it's only 50 IBUs, which is, according to a lot of people I've been talking to this week, cruise ship and visitors, they looked up some of their IPAs from home and they're about 95.
Yes.
So this one makes it more fun to drink if you're going to have more than one or two because you don't get a hop burn.
Yeah, it doesn't have the hoppy bitterness. It's very smooth for IPA.
And it's also super fresh. This one's coming right out of the bright tank. So,
You don't get fresher than that.
no,
That is really.
our beers are always fresh because we only are a 3-barrel brewery right now. So whatever we brew, he puts it into kegs and it's gone. We try to save some for our guests.
So you're gonna go from a 3-barrel to what?
15.
Whew. That'll be a step up.
It will be.
Are you gonna keep with your core 4, or are you going to expand it slowly?
Well, these are the 4 we have on tap. We have about 6, 7 at a time, usually in the rotation. Like this brown ale we brew for Smoking Rooster, which is a barbecue place. We have a cream ale that we brew for Taffas, which is a beer bar downtown, which is definitely on a must-visit list for any craft brew. It's beautiful, but I can tell you more about that later. And we've had several other beers. Kevin does a cool thing at Christmas. Here in the Virgin Islands, the Christmas drink is guava berry, but it's this bitter little berry that you get in the yards around here. And so you painstakingly take the little seeds out and they squeeze it, remove the seeds, and make rum, a guava berry rum. And that's the national drink of Christmas. So Kevin took the same guava berry juice and he made guava berry.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, it's a really nice Christmas treat.
That's pretty awesome. Can you explain to me how the culture in the area is around like food and drinks? Like because you have to import everything to the island, is there like a local community that shares stuff to help get through, especially during COVID when everything shut down?
I can speak to the beer scene mostly. Kevin, I know when the St. John Brewers on St. John, with 2 young brewers, really, I have a lot of respect for them. Kevin helped them set up their one piece of equipment when they first started brewing. And we have some of the liquor distillers will call and say, hey, do you have a clamp? And it's like, sure. Or because of shipping, yes, and because of the cold in the north and they might miss a shipment, a brewer called and goes, hey, I need a sack of grain. Can you help me out? And Kevin goes, maybe. My grains should be here, but I don't know. But it did get here, so he helped them out.
That's cool.
So it's nice. And we've recently done our first collaboration with all the brewers in the USVI Craft Brew Trail.
There's a Craft Brew Trail now for the USVI.
There is. I know. We patterned it after others we saw in the States.
I think yours may be better since it's like islands.
And it may be better because we only have 4 people on it. Yep. You know, we don't have 20 or 30 or 50.
So who's in the tour now?
Well, St. John Brewers from St. John, they now have a gift shop downtown. So they're downtown. They're right next to Tapas, which is a craft beer bar right next.
Yes.
So people can come here. A lot of cruise ship people start here, depending on which ship you're at, but they'll start here and then we send them downtown, and then you can go to the other cruise ship dock and see Leatherback Brewing. Leatherback's from St. Croix, St. John, and we're the St. Thomas Brewery. So we all have our own little niche. So it's nice when we come together.
That's super cool.
Promote
So you
the
made
industry.
your own, to build a community on the island. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So can you explain a little to me about, 1, the name of the brewery, and then 2, your amazing tap handles?
Well, it's kind of the same story. You're in Frenchtown right now, and we get that question a lot. Why Frenchtown? Well, we're in Frenchtown. And in the 1850s, the Huguenots who were in France left France to avoid religious persecution, but we like to say that they traveled to express their religious freedom. So the Huguenots settled here in Frenchtown and up in the hills. These were the fishermen, and the people who settled in the hills were the farmers. So this has been Frenchtown. Today, you can see the same small homes. We have a Frenchtown museum that it's really cool. It shows these small little homes where 7, 8 or so people would live, and they're just charming little homes, but they've been here forever. It's a quaint little place right next to the harbor, and we identify with Frenchies, lovingly called the people here. And if you can walk through Frenchtown and not understand somebody because they've got a patois going.
Oh.
And our logo, this is a typical hat worn in the 1850s, and this gentleman is casting his bait net and fishing. So that's the hills of St. Thomas. And you also ask about our tap handles.
The Eiffel Tower.
Thank you.
You're good.
The Eiffel Tower. We have 3 of them in Frenchtown. There's 1 at the entrance and 2 around, so it's not unusual. And we have a lot of roosters. This particular rooster lived in the back of the brewery, and he was blue. He had blue feathers, and he was so beautiful. So when we designed these tap handles, we sent a picture, and these were hand-painted, each one hand-painted from the picture of that rooster. So they're not cheap, but they're
really pretty tap handles.
Thanks. So you're not into hops.
Not as much, but I did try this one, and it was good. It wasn't like overly hoppy.
Probably the 86.
Was that the one I had?
No, she had the hop out.
Okay, see, it's the 50 IBU.
I like it. Like, I usually am not a huge, he's always likes the IPAs, and I don't mind them if they're not like super hoppy.
Well, I'm trying you with a Belgian. This is a brown, this is the Belgian beer. It's our Saison.
Okay.
It's 6.8%. It's made with a French Saison yeast, and it's...
Good.
You tell me.
That's a nice one. You actually probably would like this one. You want to try it?
Here.
He's better at explaining things too. So.
People love saisons, love this saison. They say it's the best one they've ever had.
See, I'm not a saison person, but I like this because it doesn't have as much of the weedy kind of like harsh flavor that a saison usually has.
Sometimes they do. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I thought you would actually like it.
And it gets a lot of its flavor from the yeast.
Yeah, I like that. It's really nice.
And this one is our brown ale, which is a little like a Guinness in that it looks really dark, so you think it's going to be dark and syrupy, but we can't do that here because, you know, those beers are great for the States where it's cold.
But nobody wants that heavy of a beer here.
Right. And people ask us all the time, and it's like, you can ask us, but nobody drinks it here.
Yeah.
So that's a light brown. It's a German-American hybrid,
Okay.
and it's brewed for the Smoking Rooster restaurant, and Kevin and they worked on the recipe several times until they got it absolutely perfect for them.
Oh, that's really good. I like that a lot.
It's a nice, it's almost a session beer at 5.2%.
Okay. Yeah, it gives you like the feel of, like you said, like if you like stouts or any of those darker beers, but it's light, so you can have it when it's super hot or outside.
But you still get
But you still get that, like, yeah, you get those notes that you would look for. Yeah.
So the food guy should probably
Yeah, come
try
taste
that
it.
one.
You don't like dark beers, but
You can smell the coffee on the nose and the cocoa. See? I don't know. Your beers are different to me because I would not drink this normally. I would not order this. I won't drink this. But this one is good. It's an island brown ale.
yeah, that was like the best way to explain it. Like, it's a perfect one for a hot day if you
can
like the
take
dark.
this to the beach and drink it and not
You can,
feel
because it's
heavy.
5.2.
Yes.
And, you know, you asked what kind of beers we brew. Kevin brews the beers he likes. You know, he's a selfish guy.
I mean, that makes sense, so.
You're the master brewer. You get to make the choices.
Well, yeah, and it's easier to narrow it down on what you like and what you know is going to be good if you like it than being like, I hate this kind of beer. Let me try and make it
He
work.
will make other beers because people ask for them, and then we enjoy them. A lot of lighter beers, like our cream ale that we make for Tapas, is a really nice beer. And he also made a blonde, and he let our fan base name it Blonde, James Blonde.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh, that was good.
That was good.
So can you tell me a little bit about your secret ingredient that's every beer's best ingredient, which is the water?
Well, I guess it's artisanal because we start with seawater. And that comes to us in the form of city water, and it's from our WAPA, which is Water and Power Authority, reverse osmosis, as you said. So we get that as city water, and from there we put it through a barrage of filters, and that gets the water to where Kevin wants it for brewing, and then he adds whatever he needs to add.
Crazy. So the city uses seawater as their base and then supplies out from the seawater.
Right, so we're seawater based. We also have catchment, so we have rainwater, which some people brew with. We like to have total control over our water, so we...
Perfect water.
Right.
Awesome.
And while you're standing here, we've got a fermenting beer.
Oh, what do you have in the...
I would have to look at the label on the side.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's 86 and sunny.
Yay! So it's fermenting, and
How long do they ferment for?
usually about a week. And you can see that it's temperature controlled here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so you just dial it in, and these are all...
And I would assume that this is probably a day's worth of beer?
For you.
Yes. Oh, that's super cool. I didn't know that it was salt water.
Okay, so we have the first ever craft brew trail, and we have 4 participants. We have St. John Brewers from St. John, Leatherback Brewing from St. Croix, Tapas, which is a very cool craft beer bar downtown Charlotte Amalia, and of course Frenchtown. So you can go to scan that, and it's $25, and you get to experience each of the breweries. Each one is very unique and cool, and you get when you come in, you order a taste of whatever you want on tap, and they'll give it to you in their glass. When you go home, you've got 4 very cool glasses. Okay, we're going to pour the perfect craft beer. We're going to tilt the glass, a super clean glass, by the way. We are never going to touch the spout to the glass or the beer. We're going to stop it a little short of full and give it a little pump so that it is absolutely perfect. Thank you for visiting.
Thank you so much for having
It was
us.
a blast.
And thanks for bringing all of your viewers. And I hope to see them here.
Exactly.
Either
You all
here
need to come.
or in the new brewery.
Exactly.
So let's
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
ah.
Oh my God, so good.
So good.
It's so good, especially in the morning.
Yes.
I like how you think.
Like honestly, the best brewery experience of our life.
100%. That was amazing. Thank you, Rooster. That was an amazing experience. 1,000,000% go to Frenchtown Brewery. I love their story. I love their beer. Like, we could not have had a better experience.
We planned for an hour. We're now like 3 hours in. It was absolutely awesome. Awesome.
I don't even know, like, I feel like I need to elaborate on that, but I can't even come up with how to explain how fun that was. That was...
I'm happy and Emma's happy. If that says enough, like, we're good.
Till next time, get out and live a little. Bye, guys.